Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I'm with my buddy Caleb from CNO Services, and today we're going to walk through a property in Baltimore and look for some signs of rat infestations that might have been overlooked.
Caleb here, Pest Services. So whenever you go to invest in urban area, one of the most overlooked things before the deal is rat or rodent infestation. And there's some key indicators that you can look at either outside or inside the property that can let you know that you have that issue. Number one is issues with your back lot area. If it's not completely poured concrete, especially pavers, or if there's gardens around the edges, you run the risk of having a rat's nest or large infestation of rats tunneling through your backyard. And as you can see from this area, you get a lot of unevenness, you get a gradient that doesn't flow, and you have issues with the setting of your pavers. What this issue points to essentially is the center of transit for the rodents in this area is centered around the worst of it. So if you can look at the low points or the most uneven areas in your pavers, you're going to eventually find one of these. Now this is the entrance to a large rat's nest. As you can see, they pile the trash up, food down there, and then it tunnels under this way, goes all the way down here. Now, the previous property owner tried to repair, but this was repaired inadequately. So what they tried to do is millings to level out and repave and then backfill. Temporary fix. If you don't get rid of the rats, all of this is going to be dug out immediately, and the problem's only going to get worse. Another indicator that you have some rat issues on your footers, if you have a footer or retaining wall around the back of your property, you'll have some cracking, some odor issues. If there was previous tenants discovered the issue, you're going to have some attempted fixes like this where you seal off the drainage, which really doesn't do anything. They can get right around this. Also, by this retaining wall, if you look at the footer, you can see hollow areas where they can continue to dig and travel from yard to yard. And a lot of times you'll see that right along the base of the post, especially if they're anchored above ground. But if you have an underset post, a lot of times this will go overlooked. So it looks like there was just some rot over here because of this growth, but the closer you look, you'll see there's more chewing under there. And there's actually a tunnel that goes along this side right here. And underneath this is completely gone. So the rats have chewed out the base of this post, and it's only being supported by these legs. So if somebody were to just quickly, see this? This can also happen in the interior of the house. We're going to check that out in a second. Why don't we check out the basement, see if we can find some more signs of this infestation. All right, guys, if you see something like this, the next step that you're going to want to do is look at the framing in your basement, and particularly in the mechanical or semi-finished areas. You're going to be looking for chewing any sort of droppings, tunneling in the corners of the structure, or access to the upper levels. So here's a good example of some chewing, and this is very, very light, but if you look at this right here, corners are good. You see this? It's rough, raspy, uneven. This indicates that rodent's been chewing on it. Ooh, you know what's gonna happen? All right, from here, so we know we have an intrusion right here. We have some chewing, but we did not see droppings. That tells us that more than likely, this is a previous infestation. It's non-active, and I can actually confirm that because we did the remediation already. So moving on, there are some more indications that you can look at to determine the status of an infestation or if you have one. Primary laundry hookups and HVAC entry for the supply lines can be damaged and then easily accessed by rodents of any size. Like we saw outside, a lot of people try to pinch these off. It prevents proper exhaust of your system and will lead to all sorts of issues with your unit and your just overall ventilation of the space. But what you want to do is you want to take a proper exterior rated grate and install that rather than crimp it like we saw outside. So that's going to basically deter any rodents from getting inside. The vinyl ones, they can chew right through. The metal ones provide a little bit more protection. Another area that's common, especially these days, rural or urban areas, is the sealant or foam spray that is typically used to cover this gap. Now this one in particular is used with just concrete on the inside, and then this gap sealer right here. So the rodents can actually chew right through this and then use this as an access to the basement. Once they get into the framing, they're just going to chew right through to gain access to the rest of the property. Here's a prime example of something like that. So, as you can see from the inside, this board's old, but it doesn't indicate that there's anything terrible going on. No termite stuff on the outside, no mud, no dimpling. But what we do have on the ground right here and right here is brick dust and debris. That tells us that there's an issue between the exterior cladding of the property and the sill plate behind this joist. And if you go up under there, you can see that insulation's eaten out, wood is tunneled through, and they actually dug through the brick as well. Now, once they gain entry to the property, they're going to continue to deteriorate the structure, chew through, droppings, breed. There's tons of issues when you get an active infestation. So if you see something like this in a prospective investment, you really want to take the steps to prevent purchasing something with that active infestation.
Well, thanks for watching today, guys. I hope you got a lot of great information about what to look for as far as rodent infestations outside, inside a property, finished and unfinished spaces. And if you got any questions about anything, would like to learn more about investing or get some work done for your property, feel free to message myself anytime or Caleb Neff of CNO Services. His info's below in the comments. Take care.